so that he was left in possession of the field of battle, and also of the spoils of victory, in the shape of this battered hat, and a most unimpeachable Christmas goose.
Which surely Peterson restored to their owner.
Oh, and here is another souvenir from Christmas morning, the card that was attached to the leg of the goose, for Mrs. Henry Baker. There lies a problem. The initials H.B. are legible here upon the lining of this hat. But as there are some thousands of Bakers and some hundreds of Henry Bakers in this city of ours, it is not easy to restore lost property to any one of them.
What did Peterson do?
He brought round both hat and goose to me on Christmas morning, knowing that even the smallest problems are of interest to me.
Did he not advertise?
No.
Then what clue could you have as to his identity?
Only as much as we can deduce.
From his hat?
Precisely.
But you're joking. What did you gather from this old battered felt?
You know my methods.
May I?
What can you gather?
Let me see this hat. I can see nothing.
On the contrary, Watson, you can see everything. You fail, however, to reason from what you see.
What can I infer from this hat?
That the man was highly intellectual is, of course, obvious upon the face of it, and also that he was fairly well-to-do within the last 3 years, although he has now fallen upon evil days. He had foresight, but has less now than formerly, pointing to a moral retrogression, which, when taken with the decline of his fortune, seems to indicate some evil influence, probably drink, at work upon him. This may account also for the obvious fact that his wife has ceased to love him.
My dear Holmes!
He has, however, retained some degree of self-respect. He is a man who leads a sedentary life, goes out little, is out of training entirely, is middle-aged, has grizzled hair, which he has had cut within the last few days, and which he anoints with lime cream. These are the facts which can be deduced from his hat. Also, by the way, that it is extremely improbable that he has had gas laid on in his house.
You're certainly joking, Holmes.
Not in the least.
How did you deduce that this man was intellectual?
It is a question of cubic capacity. A man with so large a brain must have something in it.
The decline of his fortunes, then?
This hat is 3 years old. These flat brims curled at the edge came in then. It is a hat of the very best quality. Look at the band of ribbed silk and the excellent lining. If this man could afford to buy so expensive a hat 3 years ago, and has had no hat since, then he has assuredly gone down in the world.
Well, that is clear enough, certainly. But how about the foresight and the moral retrogression?
Here is the foresight, this little disc and loop of the hat securer. They are never sold upon hats. If this man ordered one, it is a sign of a certain amount of foresight, since he went out of his way to make this precaution against the wind. But since we see that he has broken the elastic and has not troubled to replace it, it is obvious that he has less foresight now than formerly, which is a distinct proof of a weakening nature. On the other hand, he has endeavoured to conceal some of these stains upon the felt by daubing them with ink, which is a sign that he has not entirely lost his self-respect.
Certainly plausible.
The further points, that he is middle-aged, that his hair is grizzled, that it has been recently cut, and that he uses lime cream, are all to be gathered from a close examination of the lower part of the lining. The lens discloses a large number of hair ends, clean cut by the scissors of the barber. They all appear to be adhesive, and there is a distinct odour of lime cream. The dust, you will observe, is not the gritty grey dust of the street, but the fluffy brown dust of the house, showing that it has been hung up indoors most of the time, while the marks of moisture upon the inside are proof positive that the wearer perspired freely, and could therefore hardly be in the best of training.
But his wife, you said that she had ceased to love him.
Well, this hat has not been brushed for weeks. When I see you, my dear Watson, with a week's accumulation of dust upon your hat, and when your wife allows you to go out in such a state, I shall fear that you also have been unfortunate enough to lose your wife's affection.
But he might be a bachelor.
Nay, he was bringing home the goose as a peace offering to his wife. Remember the card upon the bird's leg.
You have an answer to everything. But how on earth do you deduce that the gas is not laid on in his house?
One tallow stain or even two might come by chance. But when I see no less than 5, I think that there can be little doubt that the individual must...